What's going on, everybody? This is Rick Adams. Alongside with me is Jack Farris. This is J&R's PuckHouse, Episode 3. Put it in the history books, folks. Listen, this is going to be a short podcast, about 40 minutes. Don't know exactly, can't pinpoint it. We just want to wrap up the games during the week. It is Thursday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo 2022. This is a great time, playoff hockey, and let's get right into it. Jack, say hello.
What's going on, everyone? Jack Farris here. I think Rick gave such a good intro. I don't really have too much else to say. I'm just thinking about what the games we're going to cover now. But, happy to be talking to you guys again. Wrap up all these games, and then, at some point over the weekend, we're going to get into a longer podcast and get you guys really set up. That'll be the longer one for you guys to listen to on your commute or whatever it may be.
Absolutely. I love it a lot. We got a bunch of exciting games to really wrap up here. It's really maybe an unexpected one with Toronto. Let's jump into that. Game one with Toronto against Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Who would have thought Toronto coming out like that? I know they're home. I know they got the fans. That's just something else. They exploded.
I think they're tired of being, just the team everyone kind of rips a little bit, and just, they're not going to be able to get past the playoffs. They're in Toronto. They're fired up. They came out flying. I think that's what that comes down to. And maybe Tampa wasn't ready for it. Tampa's a playoff team. They played a lot of playoff hockey, and I think Tampa was, not really able to shut them down. They weren't expecting that. Matthews was on fire, and they came out flying. And like you said, they're motivated. They don't want to keep losing in the first round, and they're not playing Boston anymore. And, of course, they got Tampa, which is probably an even harder matchup, I think. But
absolutely.
It's, it's not going to be easy. But, they came flying out the first game, at least,
Yeah. Both teams, I don't think they could be taken lightly. Tampa can't be taken lightly, and same thing with Toronto. I think that's what happened with Tampa. Maybe they thought, two-time reigning Stanley Cup champs, who's Toronto, maybe they're thinking that way. Maybe that was their mindset. And, but they bounced back game two, but...
Yeah, I think Tampa game two settled down and said, all right, they play, and John Cooper's a good coach, and he was able to coach them and kind of figure out what Toronto was doing, I think. And like I said, you could totally match up Toronto and Tampa offensively. They both got weapons. Matthews, Marner, Nylander. These guys could score. They're skilled, but and so is Tampa. But I think the difference with Tampa and the edge with Tampa is their blue line and their goalie, and especially their goalie. Vasilevsky's going to be the game changer, and that's why series is 1-1. But 100%, I'm still riding on Tampa. They're still my pick.
Yeah, I was very hopeful after game one, but then I saw how Tampa played in game two. Took a large lead and everything, but Toronto still showed some resiliency towards the end of that game. And I know, you could argue, every team is going to play desperation hockey in the last 2.5 minutes in a playoff game. Yeah, no shit. But, they did show signs of life, signs of resiliency, so it's still a lot of hockey left.
Yep.
It's going to be really exciting to watch that series. Yeah. I think that goes to 7. I don't see it being wrapped up in 5. I just don't see it.
What I'm calling it now, the guys that are going to score on both sides, whether it be Kucherov and Stamkos and Point, and the guys that are going to make a difference for Tampa and get the series done are the Sorellis, the Brandon Hagels, the Nick Paul, the Corey Perry, the Ross Colton. Those guys in the bottom 6, the depth players that can score some goals. They play big and physical. They penalty kill. You see, like, if you watch the game, game 2, like, Toronto got some power plays, and, Tampa was shutting them down, and they know how to clog the middle, they know how to play physical.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be the game changer, plus the goalie. Toronto's not going to be a cakewalk, and it's going to be entertaining, because they're a good team, they're a skilled team, but they don't have the depth, and they don't have the goalie, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting for sure. I was kind of like, in the first game, well, what happened, Tampa? It's kind of like, what's going on? But, game 2, they pulled it back together. And,
Toronto's motivated, if anything.
They're
100%. They're
Toronto,
motivated to prove everyone wrong.
100%.
Definitely.
100%. I was saying last episode. Absolutely.
I don't think they're going to be able to, but they're motivated to. So, we'll see what happens. That's what's going to make it so interesting.
Absolutely.
And fun to watch. That's more important.
Yeah. Let's dive into Carolina and Boston. That first game, they just completely dominated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've said it before. It's hard for me not to root for Tampa. I mean, not for Tampa, for Carolina a bit, just because they have so many ex-Rangers, And, but yeah, they're such a good team. They got so much depth, so much firepower up front. And you know what? So does Boston. Boston's got good, some good forwards up front. I just think Carolina might have some more depth. Those two lines can really go. They can really, they can turn up the pace, and they know how to play physical. And yeah, they're getting it done without Freddie Anderson. So if he comes back, it's a plus for them, and their decor is getting it done, offensively and defensively. So, yeah, it's 2-0 Carolina, and Boston's struggling against them. Boston's getting pissed too. If you're watching the games, they're taking stupid penalties. Yeah. They're cross-checking and slashing.
Carolina's in their head.
Yeah. They don't want to lose. Boston, how much time do they really have left with this core?
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are getting, as good as they are, Bergeron, Marchand, those guys are getting older. So they want to win, and I don't think they can beat Carolina. I think Carolina's a better team. And they're proving it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so far.
You can't give Carolina power plays, too. That's what I was talking about last night. You can't take dumb penalties against them. They're going to, you see, Tony D is just quarterback in that power play. He gets shots through every single time, smart passes. You have Svechnikov on the right side, Teravainen on the left. You got Aho distributing it. Like, you can't take a stupid penalty against them. You can't afford it. They're going to score 9 times out of 10.
No, you're right.
8 times out of 10 maybe. Yeah, that's not how you want to play them, taking dumb penalties. That's for sure.
Nope. I said
They're
it.
Frustrated, Boston.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I said it last episode. Player to watch in that series is Nino Niederreiter. I couldn't wait to bring him up when I texted you, Jack.
I said guy. Stoll. He might not have played as well, but he played pretty solid.
Yeah. No. He might not put the puck in the net every game, but he does the dirty work, and he
wins
he's
the face-offs.
Yeah, he's a team player. He's a two-way player. We all know that. But Nino Niederreiter said he's going to have at least 3 goals this series, and he's already at 3. I mean, the third goal was an empty net goal, but a goal is a goal.
Yep. 100%.
So
Tony D's got 4 points in 2 games, by the way.
Yep. I had that written down.
QB in the power play.
Yep. Love it.
Jacob Slavin's playing sick.
He's all around great. I love Slavin.
He's even like the underappreciated guys. Brady Shea, pretty solid player, good skater.
Former Ranger.
Brett Pesce's solid.
Yeah.
Their whole blue line's solid.
It is.
And they can move the puck. And yeah, I think Carolina's beating Boston for sure. They're we all know, everyone listening, they're up to 2-0 now, but
yeah,
they're Boston's in for it.
It looked like something was off with Boston. Like they weren't clicking. It just didn't. It just something seemed off.
Game 1, they didn't really look ready. In Game 2, they got frustrated and they started taking stupid penalties and they couldn't rebound from it. That's what it came down to for me. If you're watching the game, I don't think they were ready for Carolina Game 1. And I think Game 2 they tried to play physical with them, and Carolina can play physical, and they're giving it back to them a little bit. But Boston was getting pissed. I think Carolina's outskilling them, all throughout. All 3 lines are outskilling them.
Yeah, all 3.
And they're getting pissed, so they're taking the stupid penalties, like I said, and you can't do that against Carolina.
One thing I have to say is, not only is their defense playing great. I mean, Carolina all around's playing great, but they don't have Freddie Anderson, right? They got
even
their
Russian kid Kochetkov. He's a rookie. I honestly don't even know where if he's from the KHL or if he's one of their draft picks, but he was in their system and they brought him up and he's playing solid.
They're playing great. Yep. You gotta give it to them. You can't discredit it and just give it all to the day.
And the Kochetkov, he looks like he's pretty solid. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I think that goes to show even more so that their blue line is so good.
Right.
No matter who they're in front of, they're going to be able to defend.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think the Bruins do get a win or 2. I think Carolina wraps it up soon, and I don't know how soon, but I think I'm for sure I can guarantee it that Carolina could be wrong.
Well, Boston's good enough to come back and put up a fight. I'm not counting them out completely. Wouldn't shock me if Boston, next game and it became tight again. But there's no doubt that Carolina's. I think Carolina in 5.
Think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one. Yeah. All right.
I think Boston wins. Wins 1, maybe makes it tight.
I can see it.
Yeah.
At this pace, I can see it. At this rate, I really can.
But it's a
shock
7-game
me.
series. Boston's not the type. They're not the type of players that are going to quit. I don't think any NHL player is going to quit. But you know what I mean. They know how to.
No.
They know how to dig deep. These guys, Marchand and McAvoy, even though he's young. I mean, Bergeron. All those players are playoff experienced, and they're not going to give up. So, wouldn't be shocked if they make it a tighter series. But it wouldn't shock me if Carolina just keeps flying and sweeps them either. Like, either way, it wouldn't surprise me. So that's a fun series to watch for sure. They're in trouble. Down 2-0 in a Game 7 series. I mean, 7-game series. It's a pretty big detriment right off the bat.
Yeah. I agree. Let's dive into Capitals versus the Panthers.
That one surprised me.
This really surprised me.
Counting out the Caps completely.
Me too. And I didn't really I really didn't get to watch much because I was so heavily invested in the Rangers versus Penguins game.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later. We're gonna see the best for last. But that game, I really thought the Caps would be more physical. It was a very physical game, both teams, but Florida apparently totaled them out, on hits. But not that means anything. Look at the scoreboard. But, you still got to watch for Oshie and Wilson in front, man. You got to, you can't just take them, even Wilson, still all around good. Might be a goon and all this shit that people say, but he's still a hockey player. He still can put the puck in the net.
Yep, no doubt. And those guys are battle-tested guys. They've been there. They've done that, so that they've won. They've played a lot of playoff games. They know it's a different game. So some of those Florida guys don't have a ton of playoff experience, right? So that's something to keep in mind. They have some, but definitely not as much as Washington. I still think Florida gets it done. You can't hit the panic button just because Washington wins one game.
Yeah.
But give Washington credit. They have some guys that have played in the playoffs.
It's experience.
They know how to play. They're experienced. And I think Washington's goalie played great, too. So.
Yeah, Vita Vanacek, right? Vanacek, something like that?
Yep. Yeah, he had a good game. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's... I don't think Bobrovsky played terrible. I don't think he did. It's just... it looks like the Capitals are just able to capitalize more.
Oh, yeah.
No pun intended, It's
they can score, like you said, Rick, they can score those greasy goals in front and the tip-ins and the jam-ins. They're not afraid to go to those areas. You watch, though, if it gets to the point where if it gets tighter and more competitive and Washington takes dumb penalties like Boston is against Carolina, if you give Florida a lot of power plays, they're going to score goals. They got a ton of skill.
Right.
Barkov, Huberdeau, Duclair, all these guys could score, so you got to watch for that, and I think Florida still wins it. But, I mean, hey, if Washington... if Washington's able to beat Florida and upset the Panthers, that's kind of crazy. Because everyone's counting out the Caps. I didn't hear too many people picking the Caps over the Panthers.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I didn't pick them.
I think one guy for Washington to watch is Anthony Mantha, because you see that Washington gave up a lot for him 2 years ago now. I think that was the year that COVID started, right? That deadline before COVID.
I believe so.
They gave up a lot for Mantha. Then he had a bad injury. He was out for a while. He was out most of this year. But he's a big dude. Big physical forward that knows, he could definitely score goals.
He's got a nice shot.
So, if he steps it up, that's one guy that a lot of people probably didn't really think about because he was out pretty much the entire year.
Yeah.
So,
under the radar, Anthony Mantha.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, you can't really count out Washington. Still got Ovechkin scoring 50 every year. It's tough to count those guys out.
Yeah.
John Carlson's an awesome defenseman.
Yeah,
he
so
doesn't
good.
really get talked about too much, at least this year. Of course, he was talked about the year they won the cup, but wouldn't be blown out of my chair if Washington won, but I still you got to go with Florida. They're just that good. They're that skilled.
Yeah.
They have such a good year. Sam Reinhart. They got a lot of depth on forwards. Aaron Ekblad is like the equivalent to John Carlson in my opinion. So
that Giroux edition,
Giroux. Yeah, they're. What comes down to Florida, Bob Rapsy's going to have to play well, and if he doesn't, they're going to give the kid Spencer Knight a chance, who looks like he's going to be really good, but he's also still young. He's a rookie, so you're putting a lot of pressure on a kid.
Big pressure.
To become the number one guy. But I still got Florida winning it, but Washington's going to put up more of a fight probably than I originally thought. So let's
No, I agree, Jack. I agree. It's just going to be interesting how it plays out. Really, like we said earlier, I didn't expect the Caps to win Game 1, especially on the road. But we'll see. I still got the Florida Panthers winning. Let's dive into Avalanche versus the Predators real quick. Like I said last episode, this was really going to be a team that just a first seed totally takes over and dominates. What is it, the 8th seed? Whatever the fuck it is now these days. Old school standings and whatnot. But this is where you just see a first seed totally dominate and take advantage. What was it, 5-0?
I think it was 7-4 or 7-3.
No, the final score was what, 7-2? But it was 5-0 in like the first period.
Yeah.
I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, it was 7-2.
I shouldn't say that I couldn't believe it, but I didn't expect it just like that, no problem.
No, yeah.
5 goals, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, secretly, I was kind of rooting for Nashville a bit. I like a lot of guys on Nashville. I like Matt Duchene, and I like
Duchene.
I like Johansson, even though he's not what he used to be, and he's not putting up the points. I still like him though.
Imagine if Duchene was still on Colorado.
Oh yeah. They probably wouldn't be able to afford him.
No, I know. It's
just
crazy. It's just crazy.
Colorado's nasty. We all know that. I don't have to tell anyone that. But I think, you're going to see Nashville come out and play harder next game. They just got kind of embarrassed.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you that how good Colorado is. Cale Makar is,
he's filthy.
He is filthy. He's going to be this generation's Bobby Orr.
Yeah.
100%.
At this rate.
He's so friggin' good. But their forwards are good. Yeah, Colorado's going to win. Devin Taves, look how good he's playing.
I know. I wish the Islanders kept him.
Everyone talks about how great Lou Lamoriello is, and he is. He's a smart guy. I know that. But that might be the biggest mistake he's ever made in his career.
Especially letting Letty go. They
even
didn't
more
protect
so
him.
Taves.
I know. Right. But
I know Taves is he's playing with a bunch of great players, which
of
helps.
course,
but you still have to be good to play that good. He's
you got to be able to keep up.
Putting up points, playing good defensively. I think they made some good adds to the deadline. Colorado, Lehkonen.
I like that
play
move
up and down the lineup, penalty killer. They got a nice blue line, obviously. They added some toughness. I think they're quite goaltending. Kemper keep playing well, but I think their team might just be so good that they're going to be able to, if he makes a mistake and lets a soft one in, they're going to be able to make up for it. They're just that good offensively.
Right. Right. Speaking of Makar, that goal that he scored, I swear I've seen that exact goal 4 different times. That's his sweet spot, his hot spot.
He's able to pivot on his skates.
Yeah,
he makes it look
pump
easy.
the brakes.
Yeah, and he gets down
stops
on
angles.
On a dime.
Yeah,
he embarrasses.
I forgot
other defensemen.
I forgot what team it was against. I fucking could have been against the Islanders for all I know. I don't remember exactly, but I was watching one of the games. This was during the regular season. He did almost the same move and whatnot during that game the other night, and he fucking just backhanded it top shelf short side. I'm just how do you do that?
I know.
How do you do that?
There's a reason he makes $9 million a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's so good, so fun to watch. But it's crazy. They're gonna win. I'd like to see Nashville put up a little more of a fight, so it's a more interesting series.
Yeah.
But if Colorado keeps smoking them, they're gonna be sitting home resting for their next series.
Oh yeah. All right, let's dive into Minnesota versus St. Louis quick. This is what I have to say. Minnesota, what happened Game 1, and then St. Louis, what happened Game 2, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
St. Louis is my pick. But, they're scared. Minnesota's scaring me a little bit. They got some depth, and those guys, Eriksson, Ek, and guys like that you don't really think about. And, they're not, top tier superstars, but, they get the job done. And they're getting the job done right now.
Right.
St. Louis looked awesome Game 1.
Sure did.
I still think they win. But, Minnesota bounced back big time. And that's going to be a real interesting series because I think that's going to go back and forth. Two good teams. Nick Leddy actually got hurt for the Blues, so he's going to be out. So they're going to lose that depth. And I know you mentioned Leddy, but he's going to be hurt. But Torrey Krug's been playing awesome for them. He's another guy that's played a lot of playoff hockey with the Bruins.
Yep.
And he's really good. He's an undersized defenseman, but he knows how to play bigger than he is.
And he can move the puck too.
He can move the puck.
He's not strictly D
You got
man. He
Parayko,
can
who's a stud, stud in the back end, and so is Justin Falk. Yeah, I mean, I think St. Louis is going to get it done, but it's going to be a real interesting series. Minnesota's going to definitely put up a fight, and yeah, I can't wait to keep watching that one.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
You know what's funny is you bring up Eriksson Ek, like that, another guy who's under the radar. Great season, and Jack and Rick, we follow the league religiously. Maybe Jack has heard of him before. I've honestly never heard of him before until this season. I never knew who Eriksson Ek was, and then I saw him just putting up points after points after points, and I'm like, wow, this guy's pretty good. I think that's a guy to watch in the playoffs here in this series. I mean, throughout the playoffs, the guy can put the puck in the net. He's not shy from that. He's proved it in the regular season. Can he prove it in the playoffs? That's going to be, something else to watch. But we all know Kaprizov is a stud. We know he's good. He's great. He had a hat trick last game.
Well, what's interesting for me is a lot of people are giving flack, not to cut you off, but
no, it's all good.
So a lot of people are giving flack to Jordan Binnington all season, and look, Ville Husso shut Minnesota out for nothing. He was playing against Minnesota game 1. He had a shutout. He played unbelievable. Good. Binnington was playing against Minnesota last night, and he got 6 goals against.
I know.
I think you kind of have to roll with Husso.
Got to go with the hot goalie.
So you're going to see they're going to roll with Husso. Binnington's going to be the back. Weird for him because he won a cup and played so good with them a couple years ago. But
that's why I was saying last episode, maybe it was the first. I remember saying it last episode is the only thing that concerns me is St. Louis's goaltending. But with Husso playing like that in game 1,
yeah, you don't shut out a team like Minnesota 4-zip in the playoffs unless you're good.
Right.
And I mean, listen, like St. Louis has a pretty solid blue line, but still, you got to be a good goalie,
Yeah.
So I think you got to go back to Husso for game 3. No doubt about it.
No doubt. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting series. I know you got St. Louis, but I think I got Minnesota. But we'll see. That's why we do this. I love talking about it.
It's competitive.
Let's talk about it.
Competitive edge there, but we'll see. Nothing like some healthy competition.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll throw a little money on it.
Maybe we will. Risky Rick.
A couple cases of Miller Lite, maybe.
Yeah. Buy a bottle of wine.
There we go.
I know Jack likes his wine.
A little red vino every once in a while, sure.
I want to dive into Edmonton versus LA. Game 1 was crazy. McDavid is so good. When he scored that goal, I was like half asleep and I saw it and I jumped out of bed. I was like, what the fuck?
I know, yeah.
That was just
I honestly didn't watch
unreal.
much of that game.
It was late for us on the East Coast here. Got work the next day and shit, so.
I wasn't paying too much attention to it, but I did see the highlights. Yeah, the first game was weird. It made you worried if you're an Edmonton fan because LA won. And as much as LA doesn't have like that firepower, like you got to give credit to guys like Kopitar. They know, like they're so good defensively.
And Trevor Moore,
and they're able to shut guys down. I mean, they were shutting down Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins and trying to shut down.
Jersey played great game 1. Yep. Trevor Moore had 3 points game 1. I mean, that's
Brendan Lemieux scores a big goal for the ex-Ranger.
Yeah. Ex-Ranger.
They listen. LA's going to put up a fight, but then it's another one where they come back and they get 6-0. They get smoked.
Well,
so
it's
crazy.
funny because I really, no offense to Mike Smith, but I think Mike Smith costed them that game in game 1, but then he comes back in game 2 and fucking plays lights out.
I know.
It's like
it's weird.
If you could do that, I feel like you earned the game 3 start then.
Yeah. It's a weird dynamic. LA goes in, has a tight game, winds up beating Edmonton, and now Edmonton smokes them 6-0.
I know.
It's weird. There's a lot of parity in hockey, but then in the playoffs that happens, just like Toronto Tampa series. So it's kind of weird. It's just I think coaches make adjustments, and if you're a good coach, you can make an adjustment and be like, all right, these are how these guys are going to play. This is where they're going to pass the puck, and those coaches are smart. They watch a lot of hockey. They watch a lot of video.
Right.
They kind of know how plays are going to develop, and that's the only thing I can think of. And I think goaltending matters too. Goalie could have a bad game.
Yep.
Next thing you know, he has a good game. Or you
ride.
You roll a goalie that wasn't your starter, and maybe your starter's playing bad, and the
Yeah.
backup winds up having a lights out game.
Smith
vice versa.
finished the season strong. I think he was like 6-0 the last 6 games he started in at the end of the season, and they're like, all right, let's go with him, and it makes sense. You got to go with the hot goalie, the fresh goalie. It's what you got to do.
Yeah, I think LA's going to put up a fight, but I mean,
they're sneaky good.
Yeah,
they're sneaky good.
I think for the good of the league, though, I think McDavid has to go deep in the playoffs, because I don't know how much longer he's going to want to just either lose in the first round or not make the playoffs. So I think McDavid and Draisaitl are too good to not get out of the first round, even if LA's playing the way they are, and LA's playing hard. They're too good. They're superstars, like legitimate superstars. So they have to get past the first round.
Yeah, I think not to get off topic and talk about future and whatnot, but I really do think that Edmonton is just one like elite goalie away from being a big time threat, like a big time threat.
Yeah, and they're gonna have their guys locked up. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hopkins are all locked in. So yeah, if you could, guy like Evan Bouchard, if you keep him locked in there, and then you get an elite level goalie, they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with for a long time. There's no doubt.
I think Evan Bouchard, if they could lock him up along with Darnell Nurse, it's going to be they're just going to be a force to be reckoned with. Like I said,
I know, yeah.
Those are 2 good guys, and
Darnell Nurse is a stud, and we all know that.
He is,
and hopefully he stays. I mean, he is. He's in a long-term contract with Edmonton.
He is. He's locked
years,
up.
I think.
Good.
7 or 8 years. Good for. I mean, it's good for like I said, like our boy Griffith. You don't want to see him have to buy another jersey. So obviously.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's 7 years that he's locked in, and he really is good defensively. I mean, if you look up his contract, he may be a little expensive, maybe a little overpaid, but I think Edmonton has to do that. Yeah. You see a legit defensive defenseman.
He's proven it, though. He's proven it. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
He can contribute offensively.
He's solid, and they need him.
He might not be a Cale Makar offensively, but he
not.
could still move the puck. He has a good shot.
Yeah.
The guy's a professional athlete.
And Edmonton realizes it's a little tough to get free agents there, I think, so they kind of have to pay. They got to pay a nice price if they want to keep guys.
Yeah. I thought Philip Deneau, right?
Deneau had a good game. Montreal, he's solid defensively. He doesn't put up crazy
good.
offensive
He played
numbers,
good on the Kings game 1. They got the game winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's under the radar. He's good defensively. He wins face-offs. He does all that little stuff people don't always notice. But, he's an awesome player, no doubt. He's under the radar, like I said. He's just, he's not talked about a lot, but he's gonna show top level players. Like, look how good he played for Montreal when Montreal went to the Cup.
True, it's very true.
So
it's crazy how Montreal goes to the Cup and then they're just bottom feeder.
Yeah,
it's
thing that could happen for them is getting
so
Shane
weird
Ryan.
how that happens. Yeah, true. Yeah, they're probably gonna get it. Probably gonna get him.
Yep.
All right, let's dive into Calgary versus the Stars. I thought the game was a little boring.
I didn't even pay much attention to this one either, honestly.
I really didn't either. But
I like a lot of players on Calgary. I like Matt Kachuk. I always said
like Gaudreau.
Yeah. I always said I wish that guy was on the Rangers. I tell my dad that all the time. It's the player they need. But he's got I think he finished with 102 points for the season. And he's a playoff type of player. And
it's 104, I believe.
Yeah,
said it last episode.
And Gaudreau, they're both so good. They got a nice blue line. Markstrom is unbelievable. Jacob Markstrom might be one of the goalies that gets talked about the least. That's so good.
I believe
everyone talks about Vasilevsky. People talk about Shesterkin. People talk about Freddie Anderson or these Carey Price when he was playing at that level. But Markstrom is unbelievable.
Yeah,
and I don't think he really gets talked about enough.
He's really good. He definitely is.
I'm sure Western Canada. I mean, I'm sure there's podcasts that we haven't listened to in Canada or something. Or I'm sure if you turn on TSN in Calgary or Edmonton, they're talking about him all the time.
Yeah,
he's that good. You got to realize how good he is. I'm just saying. I guess we're on the East Coast and we don't hear about him as much, but he's just so good. He's unreal. Yeah,
he is. And even though I don't know, he's great. Don't get me wrong. And what I'm about to say, it's not like no bashing, but I just feel like he wasn't even tested really that much in Game 1. He really wasn't. Dallas had 16 shots.
I know.
We know he's good. He's proven it. He's good. They got him to the playoffs. The guy's a good goalie. But more shots. What the fuck? 16 shots?
I think the thing with Dallas is
in 3 periods? That's crazy. I know Calgary's good, but
I think the thing with Dallas is there's guys I like on there, like Miro Heiskanen and a few guys, but I think some of their players are just inconsistent. Like a Rupe Hintz, like I think he goes through
Yeah.
like 40 games of doing not much, and then he plays really well for 15.
Right.
And I think Seguin and Ben had so many good years, and they're still good, but they make a ton of money, and they've had a lot of injuries, which it's not their fault, but it's affected the way they play, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting older, and I don't think Seguin's going to play the way he played when he was 27 or 26 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, how old is Seguin now? 31?
I don't know. I remember playing
Maybe 30?
NHL 11 or 10 and drafting him in Hall.
Yeah.
You know, so put it that way.
Yeah, he's the age of Paul. Paul's probably 30, 31.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even so much the age. It's more so he's had a lot of injuries. You know?
Right.
So,
That's true, too. Yeah.
And,
I forget about that.
you know, their goalie in Dallas it's right now. It's Ottinger. I should know this. I didn't pay much attention to the Dallas Calgary game. But,
I didn't think Ottinger played terrible. It's just
Yeah.
I don't think the offense helped them out at all.
and he's a young goalie still.
Yeah. I thought Dallas played okay. I thought the defense played okay. They blocked shots, you know. But when you go 0 for 5 on the power play, that doesn't help.
Yeah,
You know, they needed help. Ottinger needed help
Calgary's
offensively, you know?
Calgary's coach Daryl Sutter is the one that won the cups for LA, and they know how to button down and play that strict defensive shutdown game, play physical, you know, stop the opponent. Just that that shutdown D. They know how to play it. Daryl Sutter knows how to implement it, and he did. And when they need a goal, they know how to score a goal because look at their forwards.
Yeah.
So,
It's unreal.
yeah, I think Calgary's definitely going to win. I mean, I don't know if I said it already, and I hope I did because the more I think about it, my West definitely Calgary.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, listen, like I said, I think it was last episode.
Elias Lindholm too is another guy. What do you have? 40 goals.
Yeah,
You know,
he had that goal, the power play goal last game. To, go up 1-0. Listen, my buddy Bear said it. He goes. I asked him 2 weeks into the season. I said, "Oh, who's your Stanley Cup winner 2 weeks in, just for the hell of it?" He said Calgary Flames, and I laughed it off. I'm like, okay, but
Nah,
now
he's
look,
smart. He's smart.
but now
That's a
look,
good team.
Yeah. So.
Like I said, they're not. You're a New York or Boston guy or something. Like you're not really thinking about Calgary as much. But you look at their roster, man. It's Matt Tkachuk, Gaudreau, Lindholm, that guy Michael Backlund on the second line center. How good he plays defensively, right? Like they got a lot of players you don't think about. Mangiapane scoring, Hannafin's on the back end, Rasmus Anderson. They got some good blue liners. So. And Markstrom, like we talked about, they're a good team. They could totally win.
Absolutely.
And having a coach like Daryl Sutter helps. I think the coach helps. They're not everything. The players are professionals, and they're going to go out and do the job the way they know how to do it. But having a coach to say the right things and know when to push guys and not push guys, I think is important.
Yeah, I think the Flames get it done in 5. I could see the Stars squeaking in one game, but I really think the Flames just wrap it up. Sooner than later.
Yeah, I think the only way the Stars are even competitive is if Seguin and Ben step it up and play the way they're supposed to play.
Right.
And, that kid Jason Robertson's really good. He scores a ton of goals. But
right.
I don't know if he's necessarily like a playoff style player. I mean, we've talked about it. Like the guys that score a lot in the playoffs, those greasy goals. Like he's like a sniper. You know what I mean? He's not really a, get to the net. Watch, he'll probably tomorrow score 3 goals in front of the net, like, and make me look bad. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just Calgary's too good, like we've said, and they're my West Coast pick for sure. I think they got enough depth on the blue line. They don't have the best blue line in the league, but I think they got enough to get it done.
I think so.
And their forwards are unbelievable, and they have everything. I mean, look at Lucic. He could throw hits, and he's the enforcer. No one's gonna be going after Gaudreau because you got Lucic breathing down your neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got depth. Tyler Toffoli's another guy that we don't really talk about.
I love that addition. Love that addition.
Right wing sniper, a lot of playoff experience. One with LA, with Daryl Sutter in Calgary. So listen, when you just pick apart their roster, you realize how good they really are. And yeah, your buddy is right, and I agree with him. I think Calgary's my West Coast pick for sure.
I agree, Jack. I agree. So, the most anticipated part of the podcast, save the best for last, like we did last episode. Listen, Game 1, New York Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Crazy game. Who would have thought triple OT? But who would have thought that was goalie interference. That's how we're going to start it off.
Yeah.
And that's coming from an Islanders fan. What I will say is that Jack actually texted me and pointed it out that looked like Dumoulin, right, if I'm pronouncing it right, made a little bit more contact, if not the same, with the goalie than Kakko did. So I don't want to waste too much time on that, but what I will say is, and sorry for all you Pittsburgh Penguins fans out there, but probably going to be screaming at me after this, but if Crosby makes that play that Kakko did, that's a goal and the game's over. The refs would have gave it to him. That's all I'm going to say. What do you think, Jack?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to say that because I'm a Ranger fan, but I don't think my bias goes that deep. I think, it all depends on the ref and what they see. And, some refs make bad choices out there, but I think that, I do think that it should have been a goal just based on watching Dumoulin give Kakko a shove, and then he's kind of the one that took him out. I've read stuff online like that it was, Kakko was headed towards the goalie, and he would have made contact with him anyway, regardless of Dumoulin being right behind. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like I said, I think it's really up to the refs, but, someone seen that and thought it was, no goal. I think if Shesterkin got taken out by, Evan Rodriguez, and I seen that happen, I'd be yelling that it should be no goal, because that's just the way you are as a fan, right? So I think it's kind of discretion, and I think it's up to the refs and them making a decision on what they think. But that was a tough one. But that was a tough one to watch because I would have loved to see Kakko get a big goal for them because he was hurt for so long, and we're kind of waiting for him to break out. But to have him score a big playoff goal would have been pretty damn cool. So that was a letdown, but Rangers played good.
Well, Cheadle scored the goal, but he just made that crazy pass on his back. What a play, man! I mean, how do you even get the pass off after that? That's just something else, man. This is why these guys are professionals,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just the game itself is so long and drawn out.
Oh my god!
Back and forth, both teams played
Triple
awesome.
OT.
Yeah, it was all Shesterkin in my opinion, coming from a Ranger fan. I mean, obviously Kreider had that sick goal.
The shorty, the shorthander.
Yeah. But yeah, it was all Shesterkin. It was just Igor night. It was just all him. Save after save. How many saves he had?
I think it was 85.
Something
at the
insane
end.
like that. Yeah,
Crazy.
They played awesome. So did Pittsburgh. You see, Pittsburgh was really clogging the neutral zone. Like they weren't able to really set up Panarin in his tracks a lot of times. It got physical, a bit. That's one thing, the Rangers are definitely a more physical team, a little more intense, I've noticed. Like, guys like Goodrow and Reeves.
Even Keandre Miller.
Yeah, they're playing physical Trouba. Like, they're getting in there and playing that greasy hockey, which I like to see. That's why it's a good matchup against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got a lot of guys that can play against, with Pittsburgh, I said it from the start, it's going to come down to Crosby and Malkin just playing out of their mind and playing big and scoring big goals, and that's what they did. Malkin scored that big goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shesterkin's going to have to keep standing on his head. But the Rangers' big guys are going to have to step up and play.
They got to be consistent, the big guys on the Rangers.
Crosby and Malkin are going to have to be consistent to have a chance of beating the Rangers.
Right.
And if the Rangers want to beat Crosby and Malkin, Zibanejad and Strome have to step up and score.
Panarin.
Kreider's got to keep scoring. Panarin's got to keep doing what he's doing and try to break through that,
the mold there.
Yeah. So it's.
Speaking of goaltending, you got to give credit where credit's due, man. Casey DeSmith, I mean, he played great. I know he leave in the third overtime?
Yeah.
Was it the middle of the third overtime, and then fucking Luis Domingue pops in? Like, what?
Yeah, then he gets interviewed.
I haven't heard of him since he was on Arizona.
He played pretty solid.
Played great.
Rangers tested him.
Played great.
And then he had the interview after the game, and he was just like, I was eating Chinese food and sitting down before this.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what? In the middle of the second overtime?
Yeah. He had like a big Chinese meal or something, but I can't wait to watch tonight, I'll tell you that. It's tough to judge one game in.
15 minutes.
But I think one guy that has to step up for the Rangers is Strome. He plays so well during the regular season.
He missed the top left open, man. Shot wide.
Yeah.
Man.
I think the big guys are going to have to perform, or you're going to, it's, I don't know. It's tough to say because I think the Rangers are a better team. I just think the only thing that the Penguins have going for them is they have a lot more playoff experience, and you see that they're not They're not intimidated. Guys like Gensel, Crosby, Malkin, Letang played.
Letang is unreal. I want to give a special shout out to Chris Letang because he had fucking 46 minutes and 41 seconds.
That's what it was
on ice time.
That's what it was. I know
for 35 years old. And listen, 35 years old is not an old age, but to play at that level in the NHL with a very younger league, and speedy league.
Yeah, he's unreal.
He's unreal. He's still unreal.
They're going to re-sign him, I'm sure.
Of course.
It's going to be dumb not to, but yeah, he played unreal. Those are all guys that have won before, and they know how to play, and so it's going to be a test for the Rangers. It's a real test for them. The only thing that scares me about the Rangers, it seems like Shesterkin's really keeping them in it.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe some Ranger fans would disagree with me on that because I do think the Rangers blue line's playing good. Andre Miller, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Miller's playing big minutes for a young kid.
Yep.
He's playing real solid.
Yep.
Fox, of course. Trouba's playing good. One guy I think that's playing real good, more limited minutes than Miller, is Braden Schneider. Right-handed shot kid from the WHL. He's playing unreal. He doesn't look intimidated at all. He's playing a little physical. He's making the right plays. So, the Rangers are just a little bit younger than Pittsburgh.
Right.
And not as experienced, which that could go either way. So, we'll see what happens. I do think Shesterkin's going to have to keep playing, on his,
It's got to be on his A game.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to have to play, lights out like he has been. But
I think he will.
That's almost every goalie in this.
I think he will more so than Domingue or DeSmith. I mean, DeSmith played great. He did. But I just think, hey, we'll see tonight. We'll see in the future. But I think Shesterkin will hold it down for them.
Yeah, I think so too. What we're going to see tonight, 2 games in is a better judgment on the series itself. For sure. But, the Rangers the big guys are going to have to step up. And they did. Like I said, Kreider scored a big goal. I don't think Zibanejad played bad at all. And,
no, not at all.
They're just going to have to keep playing well. Shesterkin's going to have to keep playing. They're going to have to score that big goal that Malkin was able to score in that third OT. They're going to have to get that game-changing goal and capitalize on it. That's what's going to come down to. That's what it usually comes down to in playoffs. So
they got to watch for Gensel. That shot is just lethal. Guy's a pure sniper, Jake Gensel.
Yeah. I've seen a big uptick in Reeves hitting guys, which I like.
Yeah.
He's out there and Pittsburgh's trying to play hard and physical, and Reeves is just hammering guys. And you could tell Pittsburgh's like, holy shit, so he's a game changer because he could go out there and lay someone out, and then you got the other guy like Rooney picking up the puck, and that's hopefully that's the line that maybe gets things going and we chip one in.
They could get that greasy goal for sure.
One thing that scares me though is I just got the tweet from Elliot Friedman that no Goodrow or Ryan Lindgren tonight for the Rangers.
No Lindgren, huh? He played great game 1 too.
Yeah, that's another guy I should have mentioned because he's a warrior.
He is.
No Dumoulin for Pitt.
Oh, I wonder if he got hurt when he fucking pushed Kakko in front of fucking DeSmith. I wonder if he got hurt on that play, huh?
Maybe he got into a street fight with a Ranger fan or something like that on the way out. But good losing good. I mean, I love Lindgren, but I think losing Goodrow is gonna hurt you because he's like that Swiss Army knife type of player.
I like that. I like that.
Get pepper and hits guys and whatnot. But that's probably why he got hurt because he plays like an animal.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are 2 guys you don't want to lose in a playoff series, Lindgren and Goodrow, because they're doing the dirty work for you. So I wonder who goes in for Lindgren. That's one thing I'm wondering about. Maybe would it be Zach Jones? I think they already sent him to Hartford. I'm trying to think who they'd replace him with because Nemeth's already in the lineup. Schneider's
Nemeth's in. He played. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Rangers' depth like that, but I know you would know, Jack. But
I mean, I didn't see him call up Zach Jones, so I'm not really sure who they're going to put in. It's probably
game time decision.
Unless Libor Hayek is still up, but I don't think he's really been even playing. So I don't know if it'd be him. He might be practicing. He hasn't seen any game action. Throw him in the playoffs like that. I don't know if that's a good move, but we'll see.
We shall see. We shall see, folks. That's really it, folks. That's all we got for this episode. We thank you all who is tuning in, and we're looking forward to some more phenomenal hockey. We've already seen it so far. We got plenty more to come, and we got an interesting Rangers versus Pittsburgh Penguins game tonight.
Oh yeah, couple good games tonight.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have a nice pod going on. Sometime this weekend we'll get one in. But
yeah, we're looking to get our next one in on Saturday. Probably upload it Saturday night, maybe Sunday morning, depending on how drunk we get. It's we love doing this. We're big hockey fans, and we appreciate all those who have tuned in so far. We appreciate it, and like we said before, I know Jack mentioned it. Any comments, any suggestions you guys would like us to talk about or mention throughout the games, or even if it's upcoming off season. I mean, right now we like to focus on the playoffs, but
yeah, 100%.
Let us know. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it all day, every day. But when it comes to hockey,
yeah, any companies out there that want to offer us a contract to read an ad, I'm pretty good at reading ads. But yeah, seriously, that is serious. By the way, you guys can totally reach out, but. They can find us on Spotify, right?
Yeah, we're officially on Spotify. I'll put a post on it. You can follow us on JR PuckHouse on Instagram. We're going to get out there. We're going to put our name out there. We're going to get on all types of social media. And we just look forward to talking about hockey and making more content for all you guys and girls. Can't leave them out.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, yes.
So, we appreciate you guys listening. Check us out on Spotify. And we'll be back this weekend with another interesting pod, wrapping up all the playoff games and getting our opinion on it. And like Rick said, any tips or anything you guys want to hear, feedback you want to give us, we'd appreciate it. If we're leaving someone out, you want us to talk about a player or a team that we're kind of leaving out or not talking about enough, we'll definitely hit them. We're focusing on the playoffs, like Rick said, mostly, but don't worry.
Yeah,
the playoffs are all where we'll be talking about every team in depth. So
yeah, absolutely. That really wraps it up, folks. This was episode 3. Stay tuned for episode 4. Coming soon. Rick Adams, Jack Farris.
We're out of here.
J&R's PuckHouse. We're out.